you pick something up and you really wanted to hear it again later, we'll record this and share it out. Also, students, thank you for joining. We have 105 people in here. I was just telling Sam, our presenter, that that's the highest of the day, and she's pumped, excited, and has some great information to share with you all, and just really relevant information for you guys. At the end of today, just remember, students, that you have to do your choice board assignment and turn that into your instructor to get credit for today's session. So without further adu, I'm not going to steal her thunder, but Sam, I've known her family for quite a while. She actually has an amazing background. NYU, is NYU correct?
I went to Marist, New York.
Okay, I'm so sorry about that. My bad. I knew you were in New York somewhere. So New York, and now Sam is, I'll let her give her exact title. I know she deals as a director in the communications field, and is it really an expert in social media and all forms of communication. And I was like, let's get Sam in here to talk to you guys about how to take your social media and make a career out of it. So without further ado, Sam Moeller Dickerson.
Thanks, Josh. I appreciate that. That's quite the intro.
Absolutely.
I'm going to share my screen with you guys right now. If you guys can't see, please chat or just let us know really quickly. Otherwise, we're going to get started. So, as Josh shared with you guys, I am Sam Moeller. I'm the Director of Strategic Communications right now at MA Architects. If you're not familiar with MA, we are the architect of record for Easton Town Center. You might be familiar with Easton. We also just did White Castle's home office. We did Bob Evans' home office, Big Lots, a lot for Ohio State, a lot for Ohio Health, Hot Chicken Takeover, Brandy Melville. Those are all of our clients, among many, many others, but some of the ones that you guys definitely might recognize. And so for that firm, I am the Director of Strategic Communications. Came from a background on the East Coast. I went to school in New York, moved to Ohio, was in pharmaceuticals and 3 different pharma companies doing communications. Decided corporate America is not for me, found MA Architects, and it's a smaller business. It's about 100 people, which for an architecture firm is considered mid-sized, but definitely gave me a lot more creative liberty and freedom and autonomy to create. So I am been thriving since and very, very grateful for that opportunity. So why the hell should you listen to me? I'm going to tell you. I have built a career using social media as one of my top skills, and it's one of my key differentiators. So it's one of the reasons why a lot of people have given me feedback that they've looked at my resume over others. It's one of the reasons why in 3 years I've gone from a mid entry-level position to now the director of my own studio. And for dozens of companies, I've helped them with social media for the last decade. If you still don't believe me, last year we actually won the Best Social Media Award in the country for all of architecture, engineering, and construction firms. So this is my team that was helping me with a lot of our content and a lot of our uploading. And that's an award circled right there in the middle. This is not meant for me to brag about myself. This is meant for me to believe that I know what I'm talking about, you guys. And I promise I'm here to teach you anything that I can. So since I've been at the firm for 3 years, I have grown MA's social media by 450% and added over 10,000 additional followers on all of our social platforms. At the end, we'll get to it, but you might want to listen closely. We're going to give away a $250 Amazon gift card, and we have a little bit of a competition for you guys, assuming that you're listening. So if you have your phones nearby you, which I would imagine everybody does, you can start by following MA Architects on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter right now. If you want to participate in the competition, you will need to be following those accounts. But this is a little screen grab of our Instagram. I also last year was awarded 40 under 40 from Columbus Business First. A lot of that was to do with my career, including my work in social media, of course, and digital marketing, but also for a lot of my work in mental health that I help within the community. So a very cool thing, a really, really big honor, and very cool to think that people are recognizing my work at that point, 29 years old. So on the side as well, this might be something that really interests you guys. I also have a consulting company and I make about $500 a month. I work with, right now I have 3 clients. Not that there wasn't a hunger for more. There are so many companies that need you guys' help, especially the more and more you know about social media. I make about $500, like I said, a month. 3 clients right now. There are always so many more that need help. It's just a matter of what I have bandwidth to support. So hopefully by the end of this presentation, you might have an idea too of how you could turn this into a side hustle, how you could start building a little bit of an extra cash flow. These are some of the brands that we have helped, both with photography and videography. I have a really talented team that does all of that. And then I help with digital brand strategy. So why should everyone care about social media? I have a feeling, considering you are all Gen Zers, I don't have to convince you that social matters. What I do think you need to care about is these statistics and analytics, because when you go into your career, there are going to be a lot of people older than you that still might not think social media matters. So it's things like this, statistics like these, that are really going to drive their buy-in and really get them to believe and understand the power of social media. So 9 out of 10 companies are on social media. 90% of businesses have seen an increased exposure, and more than half report improved sales from social media alone. So forget traditional marketing. We're talking about modern marketing right now. 78% of salespeople outsell their peers by using social for their businesses. 90% of millennials, 77.5% of Gen X, and 48.2% of baby boomers are active social media users. Someone in the chat before asked how to know what platform for what demographic. Those stats are always freshened, and we'll talk about that a little bit more, but definitely important to know. Off the bat, Facebook is really, really great for baby boomers. Instagram is really, really great for millennials, etc. And right now, there are 4 billion people using social media, more than half the world. So out of 7 billion, 4 billion are on social, and that number is projected to increase closer to 5 by 2025. So again, these are the statistics that are going to drive the left brain thinkers, the CEOs, the presidents of companies to understand and appreciate the value of social media. I'm not trying to convince you. I'm trying to help you build your case to convince others, whether that's a small business that you're looking to support and possibly create a side hustle for, or if you really want to turn this into a career. These are the statistics that matter, that are going to drive those people that might not understand to really, really have that buy-in. 91% of people visit a brand's website or app. I call it the digital storefront. So especially now in this weird COVID world, a lot of people are looking on people's social and website and not even ever being able to step inside of their actual physical brick and mortar. So what that digital storefront looks like matters more than ever. Your website and your social need to be consistent. They need to have the same brand identity. It's so important. 89% will buy from the brand if they have a social presence, and 85% will recommend the brand if they have a social presence that they connect with. So the 3 whys. Why do you want to go on social media? I don't care if you are detailing cars on the side. I don't care if you have an art brand. I don't care if you are in science. It is so important to grow your brand awareness, to increase traffic to your website, and to promote your products and services. In 2020, 86% of B2B business-to-business organizations outsourced content creation. 86%. So what does that mean for you? That means 86% of companies are looking for people to help them with their social media, and 30% outsourced content distribution. So there's a huge opportunity for you in a job market, both, like I said, from that side hustle perspective, but also from a career perspective, that people need help with content creation and content distribution. This is your opportunity to pursue your passion and pursuit. How do you do it? These are the 4 keys to success, and you have to stay committed to creative content, to a strong strategy, consistency and commitment, and engagement and effort. So a strong strategy requires what? This is the less sexy side of social media. It's not just the fun content curation. It's not the fun, video shoots, photo shoots, etc. But this is the behind the scenes stuff that matters more than anything else. A strong strategy requires an editorial calendar. I've given an example below. This isn't our actual one, but we use Airtable as our platform. Also, you guys, I'll send this presentation out to all of you after if you care to see the actual slide deck. We use Airtable, and we list out what we're going to post each day, what that message is going to be, what the content is that's associated with it, whether it's a photo or a GIF or a video or a podcast episode, whatever it is. And then depending on what's happening that month, this month, for example, is International Women's Month. We have a lot of content around women leaders in our firm. Right now at MA, we have a 50-50 split of female and male leaders, which in architecture, engineering, and construction, 10.3 is the industry average. So 50% is huge and something we're really proud of as we support gender equality. So it's really, really important to us that this month, our editorial calendar is really heavy in highlighting women leaders, as an example. An account hit list. If you don't know what that is, I'm going to tell you. If you do, listen anyway. An account hit list. If I help with Butcher Shop Fitness. It's in German Village in Clintonville. It's a fitness studio, Legree, Megaformer. It's Pilates, basically, on steroids. What we did is we create this hit list of all of the places our dream clients would be. So that would be Zest Juice, Native Juice, that would be, boutiques, that would be Lacquer Gallery, that would be Penzone's Hair Salon, whatever. We create this hit list, and then those are the accounts that we're engaging with, which brings us to number 3, that engagement schedule. So what that means is every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, for example, with Butcher Shop, we comment on the accounts that are on that hit list. And we write really clever things that use our brand's voice and our brand's tone to create a little bit more visibility. So we'll comment on, Penzones and say, I can't imagine a better reward after a killer butcher class than getting a blowout from your hairstylist or something like that. Much more clever, I assure you. And anyway, so from there, we've now created almost that rabbit hole. TikTok is the best example of a rabbit hole where 2 hours of your life pass and you don't even know how that happened. But then more people see our name all over different accounts that they were already frequenting. We've now tapped into their reach. We've tapped into their audience. And also all social platforms incentivize you. If you engage, that's what they want. So they actually boost your algorithm organically. So you don't have to pay, but now all of a sudden you start showing up on more people's Explore page, on more people's news feeds, on more people's suggested pages to follow, all because you're engaging. One thing that's really important to remember, engagement, for it to count, needs to be 4 words or more. Emojis do not count. So it can't just be heart eye emoji, heart eye emoji, heart eye emoji. It has to be, this is absolutely amazing, I would die for it. Whatever. But 4 words or more. Very, very important to remember. Also, you guys, like I said earlier, I'm from the East Coast. If I'm talking way too fast, I've had so much Starbucks this morning. If you need me to slow down, I can't see your faces because I'm presenting. Josh, I'm counting on you.
You're perfect right now.
Okay. All right. I'm just banging it out. We don't have a ton of time, and I have a lot I want to tell you guys.
You're perfect.
One more less exciting thing, but incredibly important. And if you care about turning this into a business, this is what's going to drive your career. Analytics are key. So a lot of marketing efforts, including social, could be subjective until they are tied to analytics. What does that mean? You and I could go to an event, and could you imagine going to an event with other humans? But we could go to an event and we're there, and I'm like, that was the best party I have ever been to. This brand hosted this event. That was amazing. And you could say, oh, really? I didn't think it was that awesome. I've seen so many people do something like that before. That's completely subjective. Now, if we bring analytics into it, it's objective. There's no way that somebody can say that was successful, that wasn't successful. We have the numbers, the metrics, the analytics to back it up. So without assumption, but instead confirmation, we know what's working and what's not. To give you guys an example, every month I have to do an analytic report for the partners of our firm, and I share with them what social campaigns were successful, what our reach is. To give you an idea, when I came to MA 3 years ago, we would get about 2,000 people on our social pages as far as reach, like Facebook, for example, 2,000 a month. And right now we're between 60 and 80,000 a month. And a lot of that is because we would put content out there, see what performed really well, see what didn't perform well, what wasn't worth our time. And then we knew through analytics and metrics what was worth investing in, what our audience liked. We can even tell where we have our biggest following, what age group, what gender. So we really, really know how to create content to reach, either if we're hitting the mark every single time, continue to create that content. If we want to hit a different demographic, what can we do differently? What content can we curate to really, really hit that age group? Another thing we do really successfully with a lot of the brands that I help with is partner with an influencer. I'm sure you guys are familiar more than anyone with what the concept of an influencer is. On the left, we have astronaut Harrison from Small Steps Are Giant Leaps. He's partnered with MA quite a few times. His following was a little bit healthier back in the day. It was about 40,000 because he was actually featured on Instagram's Instagram. But he will come into the firm and take a photo of something that we're trying to create some publicity, some buzz around. In this case, it's a respite room. If you guys don't know what a respite room is, it's this room that we created rooted in evidence-based design to calm the central nervous system. So in 20 minutes or less, you could go in at the most heightened state of hyperarousal, which would be a panic attack, and it will decrease that panic within 20 minutes. So there are sensory tools inside. It's a multi-sensory experience. There are things to engage your sight, your smell, your touch, to really, really bring you back down and bring you to a place of homeostasis within the central nervous system. It's literally a physical space designed to support mental wellness. And so when we launched that concept, Harrison came in, he posted on Instagram. We ended up getting on the news from that. We ended up getting in Columbus Business First from that. And it really blew up. So social has a huge, huge, huge influence on what the media picks up, the more traditional media, and is a really fun way to share a message with a wider audience. We were then able to tap into his 40,000 followers. On the right is this M_Dunk. She is a fitness influencer. She has 226,000 followers, and she partners with us at Butcher Shop Fitness. So that's a brand that I help support on the side. That's one of my 3 clients right now. And she will come and post, and in exchange, all we give her is a free membership, which is $260 a month. So it's a great get for her, but it's no huge give for us, and a really, really easy way that now 226,000 people have seen her endorse the Butcher Shop Fitness, and they are following her. She's very aligned with our brand. They're following her for fitness and wellness advice. And so she really helps emphasize the message that we're trying to share from a way that people will really trust her. This is another example. Word of mouth drives 20 to 50% of purchasing decisions. 20 to 50%. Statistics like these are what's going to get you to sell yourself as a social media consultant, as a side hustle. Statistics like these are going to be what gets you to sell someone as a social media consultant as a career. It's things like this that are so important for you guys to know and be equipped with and armed with those statistics. So when you get people talking about your product or your company on social media, you build brand awareness and credibility, and you set yourself up for more sales, obviously, and success. So Jordan Angeli is another social media influencer we work with at Butcher Shop. She's a former US soccer player, and she's now a TV analyst for The Crew. So very similarly, she comes in, she'll post about Butcher. These were all really natural, organic relationships. They're people that came because they were really interested in the workout. We engaged them, so it wasn't anything forced by any means. But, you know, she said she highly recommends Butcher Shop in Columbus. They bring the heat, and shared it with her huge audience, verified account. Great for us. So if you guys aren't totally familiar with influencers and what the levels of influencers are, I thought this chart would really help you. This is a fresh chart from 2020. So these are the status levels of an influencer. The bottom is a nano. It grows to a micro, a macro, a mega, and a celebrity. Anything under that, they could say 1,000 or more, but really we're recognizing an influencer as 5,000 or above. So you can see the top of the funnel with that celebrity status, what the advantages are versus the disadvantages as you look at the bottom of the funnel. Similarly with the nano, there are advantages, even though it's only 5,000 followers, but then there are also disadvantages. So a nano, for example, which is typically, we work within the nano or micro, that M_Dunk falls in that macro category. The nano, they're really special, that lower level, because they have a higher brand loyalty and a greater authenticity. They're not quite at this large scale level where people know they're being sold an ad or a sponsored promotion. On the alternate side, though, that celebrity, that mega, it's very selective, it's prominent, there's a higher reach, also a higher cost of business. So I thought this was a cool chart to kind of show the pros and cons of working with either, and how you can really strategically determine what would best serve your brand, whatever brand you're representing on social. A huge, 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 huge thing for 2021, mixed media content. We were talking in the chat earlier about how to create content that will engage people, mixed media. The more different types of content you can create to digest, the better you're going to eventually find something that's palpable to whoever your audience is. So at MA, we actually just launched a podcast in May of 2020. It's been incredibly successful. We have close to 4,000 unique listeners right now already, and it's really exciting to think it's not been quite a year yet. This is one of our most recent guests. His name is Johanan Terrell Yogi. He is the president of the Columbus Fashion Alliance, and he's a really, really cool guy. That episode will drop actually next Monday if you guys want to listen. But it's an example of how we are really tapping into audio as a source of mixed media content. Podcasts are incredibly popular and only rising. 61% of people are watching more video on social media as of 2020, and consider trends predicting the future is audio-based. So you're definitely going to start to notice even ASMR videos are insanely popular right now. But again, it's that audio, it's that multi-sensory experience that's really, really creating a lot of sensation right now on social. The really important thing about social, like anything, there's never an end point. You never are the social guru and you don't need to learn anything else. You have to be a forever student, and you have to be forever researching best practices. That never ends. So this that I've shared with you guys below is actually sourced from an international trend forecasting tool called WGSN. It's a tool that we use at MA. We pay a subscription fee. It's quite insane. Obviously, I would never pay for it on my own because it's a really hefty price, but for the firm, it's amazing to get to share this platform together. So this is for 2021, their predictions for social media content. So the best type of content you could create in 2021 has these things in them: joyful social moments, slowing down. So that one was interesting. As users begin to embrace slower forms of social consumption, explore ideas that will allow your brand to be present without being a pest. So not quite as frequent posting, things like that, but better, richer content. Experiment with audio, as we just talked about. Implement news into communication and embrace audience creativity. Like I said, I'm going to share this presentation deck with you guys after. If you want to read about these ideas, maybe it will create some ideas of your own, which would also tie in beautifully to that 250 Amazon gift card that has your name on it. I will share it with you guys. You have to create meaningful, honest, purposeful content. So latest research is telling us that when a brand leads with their purpose, it builds a relationship with consumers that goes deep. And they're calling it the purpose perception right now. It's saying that that connection is so deep if they believe in that brand's purpose that they will actually change their entire perception of a company. So I'm sure you guys know there are a lot of examples right now, good and bad, of brands that have done really great things to support things like social injustice, to support things like climate change, to support things like gender equality, and then there are brands that have done a really, really shitty job, and it really changes your perception of the brand. So whatever that brand's purpose is, whether that is your art collection, social media, what is your purpose? Why did you create this brand for yourself? Why did you go about creating these pieces? Why do you have this social media following? Whether that's, like I said, a car detailing, what is your purpose? Why do you exist? And it could honestly, even for you guys, be, paying for college. This is, I feel like I have a lot of value to give in creating beautiful art pieces. And my goal is to pay for my education through my passion, something like that. All of a sudden, that buy-in is next level, all done through social media. My favorite thing on the whole planet, it will never change as it relates to communication, the modes of persuasion. If you don't know it, you need to learn it, you need to know how to use it, and you need to use it. So there are 3 modes of persuasion: ethos, pathos, and logos. Ethos is credibility, pathos is emotions, and logos is logic. So why do you care? I'll tell you. You care because all of your content needs to touch on all of these things. It can't exclusively be only emotional driven. We help a lot of our corporate and social responsibility partners at MA. We partner with Habitat for Humanity, Dress for Success, and A Kid Again. And we help them with some of their social campaigns and creating some content. For example, with A Kid Again, they help kids with life-threatening illnesses. We could not make every single post this pathos-heavy post, which means it's driven by emotion. This sad, sad story about this little kid who is 5 years old with leukemia and doesn't know if they're going to see their next birthday. That's a really powerful story, but every single post of that would get very, very overwhelming. So instead, we have to balance it out with other things. Ethos might be that credibility, saying, we've helped 9,000 families since 2010, great. Logos might be something like, for every $35 you donate, you sponsor an adventure for one child. So now all of a sudden the content is different and you're hitting different emotions that will drive different actions. So it's really, really incredible to think that if you only keep hitting that same emotion and you're expecting a different action, that's the definition of insanity. Instead, if you want to hit different emotions, you'll be able to drive different actions from different people. And I'm sure all of you guys as an audience, there are different things that resonate with you that would drive you to buy or believe in a brand or support a brand versus others. And so the more you can curate your content to really focus around all 3 modes of persuasion, the better diversified your content becomes. So we've made it, you guys. This is the challenge. I want you to follow MA on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, or Twitter. You don't have to follow on all, but maybe bonus points if you do. And send an email to me, samd@maarchitects.com. Again, I'll share this all with you guys at the end, with 3 recommendations of ideas for content or engagement. So something different than what you see, something that you think would really drive engagement, content that you think would be really creative, anything at all. What's in it for you? A $250 Amazon gift card and a shadow day at MA. So we'll bring you in for the day. We'll feed you. We will show you around the firm. It is incredible. Everyone is so creative. You will die of absolute excitement. And we'll hang out with you for the day. It will be like a little job shadow day. Whatever you want to get out of it, we'll make sure that it's successful to you. And like I said, however you want to spend that $250, that's up to you. But I need 3 recommendations of ideas for content or engagement. It's an exercise to challenge you to think, to create, to curate. And I'm really curious to hear what you guys have to say. So I just shared an incredible amount of information with you. Thank you for listening to me. Now let's talk.
And hey, just a reminder really quick, everyone, I am going to, or I already have, I should say, shared the link to Sam's slide deck on the agenda that we sent out today, the schedule. So you have a link to it. If you also want to ever reach out to me, I can get you that the link to Sam's slide deck today immediately, or through email or whatever. So Caroline Iverson said, could you send the email in the chat?
Absolutely.
Works. Yep. Caroline is like, she's in my class and she is a social media, like she's like a young Sam. So she is like going to be all over this.
I mean, I'm highly competitive, so it sounds like all the rest of you have some competition with Caroline. Otherwise, the $250 Amazon gift card is definitely on hers. I don't care what email you use, whatever you guys are comfortable with or allowed to.
Yeah. Hey, Cadence, you won't. I wouldn't use your school one only because that you won't be able to receive an email back. So use your personal email for that. Let's see. No, what other questions, guys? Pop some questions in the chat there. Or if you want to unmute and ask a question, that's fine too. So Chase wants to ask a question. Chase, do you want to unmute and ask verbally?
Yes. Hello. Okay. Hi. Thank you for presenting. First of all, my name is Chase Dolphin. I also go by Dolph Media. I do a lot of different stuff in the music realm in regards to photography, videography, and then more so also trying to get into the commercial side of things. But a majority of my work has come from my social media marketing and using Instagram to promote myself. So I currently post every day, typically at a specified time, and always, are looking for different ways to find engagement. So with me doing photos and videos, what would be the best way to increase engagement and or increase reach without using Instagram advertisement? Because I've used them before and it doesn't necessarily get me the results that I would like. And so most of my stuff has been from people reposting or posting through their networks and then growing from there.
Definitely. So we do some paid promotions on our social, very, very limited, only because it's so saturated that unless you have a really big budget, you're really not going to do much besides skim the surface, to actually penetrate an audience. It's going to be really, really hard. You're going to have to spend a lot of money. And I don't really think that's the best way to do it. I think the best recommendation I would have for you would be to reach out to different brands that you're interested in curating content for, especially different brands than what you already have in your portfolio. So if you have a lot of heavy food brands right now, maybe reach out to an event venue or do a wedding or something like that and offer a discounted rate or do some pro bono work for now where you're just trading services for them sharing, whatever content you're creating for them. And also then, of course, the influencer. Everyone is looking for people to help them curate content. And you have such a special skill. If you're able to do, videography and photography, that's so huge. So you can definitely do some trades in kind like that, where then those people serve as an influencer for you. You tap into their audience. You get to have their reach at zero cost for you. You're just trading your talent and your time, which is our most valuable resource is your time. But that's definitely would be my recommendation for you.
Thank you so much. And sorry, G, I see you're about to talk. I don't mean to cut you off.
I talk too much as it is anyway.
What you were saying, and I didn't catch if you said where you guys were based from or located in. I know you said East Coast, West Coast.
I'm from the East Coast, but right now the architecture firm I work for is in Grandview Yard in Columbus, downtown.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
I'm going to actually leave the name of my account in the chat. And if possible, I would love to just get some feedback from you from a marketing perspective and on that end. So yeah, if you could just let me know, I would really appreciate
Chase,
that.
and I'm not going to say you can't leave it in the chat because I know other people see it, but maybe you could email Sam directly that link so that Sam doesn't have to because this chat, I don't still have access to it when we're done today. So if you want to send it in maybe that email or something later on, would probably be better. So.
Okay, perfect.
But put it out there. I'm not going to kill your vibe and other people
Thanks,
look at
Chase.
it.
This chat reminds me why I could never be a high school teacher. Some of you guys are amazing, and some of you guys have a lot of attitude.
Also, you don't even Sam, you don't even know. You don't even know.
I'm like, please, if you don't want to be here, leave. I don't need. It's all good.
Sam.
But Caroline, it sounds like you have a question.
Hi. So I kind of like want to do art later on, and I'm working with my mentor, but I also really want to be able to do things like on my own without having to have to like need his help and stuff like that. I guess it's just like, how should I go about promoting myself like on my own on social media, or like, any other platforms, like if I were to do like a stream of like doing art and stuff like that, how do I advertise myself without looking like disingenuous or like.
I would definitely say just find that what your purpose is. Really know who you are. I think where a lot of brands start to go wrong is when they try to emulate somebody else or try to be somebody else or try to fake who they are. So whatever your purpose is, what is your reason for creating art, and really focus on that storytelling aspect. I think that's a really interesting thing. What does each piece mean to you? I think it's really important to wait to start a social account until you have enough content, because a lot of brands where they make a mistake is they're posting 3 things and then they're waiting a month before they post anything else. And you have to, when you're really ready, you have to have that image library, that content library ready to go with you. So you really need to start having that on a really frequent schedule, because once you get people's attention, you want to keep their attention. So I would definitely recommend starting off by building your brand, creating that art, deciding what that story is that you're trying to tell, and then go from there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Hey, Sam, Lauren asked if Instagram's algorithm destroys reach. Artists are saying it might destroy reach. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, it's a really pain point of mine as well, Lauren. I feel you. It's so annoying. It's such insanity, especially right now. If you guys have seen, the number one thing for your algorithm is if somebody saves your post, which it's insane to me. They change it every 4 months, just so you guys know. So it's very important to read up on what those changes are quarterly, and hopefully that will readjust itself. But right now it is a little insane to me. You have to save it, and then a DM is the second most valuable, a comment is the third most valuable, and a like means almost next to nothing. So I think that it definitely pushes you to be more creative. I do think that it's going to rebalance itself out, because I think that was a really extreme decision Instagram made. They're also a business, and they definitely are driven by people wanting to pay to promote. So we're having a lot more big box brands being able to generate reach on social because they can afford that marketing budget. It's really interesting where a lot of marketing budget is going exclusively to social media right now. But I do think that will balance out. I do think it's kind of bullshit in the meantime, though.
Caleb says, how important is the time someone posts something, like the time of the day?
Yeah, it's really important. So if you have a business account, for example, when I help Butcher Shop Fitness, or I help an acupuncture clinic as well, it's a holistic wellness clinic. It's really, really important because our audience is really engaged in Butcher Shop around 6 and 9 p.m. Whereas with the acupuncture clinic, they're really engaged in the mornings. And so if I'm posting content at night, my engagement is so much lower than if I post in the morning, and vice versa, depending on the brand. So it's been a really interesting experience. Facebook, Instagram or Facebook, if you have a business page, you can see those analytics. Otherwise, if it's just your personal account, it's really, really hard to be able to track the same because you can't run those analytics. But again, that's why metrics and analytics are so important. You can tell the day, you can tell the time, all the things.
Well, Charlie wants to know, he's a music producer, and how can he spread his influence using primarily audio? I don't know if you have any thoughts about that.
Yeah, we're actually going through that right now with the podcast. So I have a really, really talented team that helps me tremendously, of tech leads, photographers, videographers. And they're working right now on some GIFs that have audio clips tied with some imagery and some videography as well. So almost creating like little snips of music videos almost, where they have like the waveform length on it. In this case, the podcast, it's like a really, really tease clip of the audio. And so then that way, it's called Make It Innovative. I'll type it in here, you guys. There's a lot on mental health too, if that interests you. A lot of really great tips. It's available on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher. But just creating that, the more multi-sensory you can come in your experiences in that mixed media, the better engagement you're going to get. So if you have a really awesome audio clip, also creativity. I don't know if you guys have seen the guy that created music videos based on Facebook comments. Have any of you guys seen it? Write in the chat if you have. But he created these ridiculous music videos reading really funny comments from Facebook, and they went viral on TikTok and on Instagram. And it was just really trying to be creative, but he also then showed off his voice. And so in 1 week, he went from 10,000 to nearly 1 million followers, which is crazy. But just being really creative and really honoring, yeah, Caden saw it, really honoring, you know, his creativity, but still showcasing his voice in a really fun, creative way.
Cool. Hey, Nick, did you want to ask your question verbally? You had said you want to ask verbally. Now's the time.
Yeah. So can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm in a hotel room right now.
I don't know.
I wanted to know, because I don't use social media a lot, but I do want to build a platform on it. I'm an artist. I'm aspiring to be a manga artist. That's what I want to do when I grow up. I'm really excited. Because I've been practicing every day for about 2 months. I'm not at the level yet to where I can really put, like boundary breaking pieces of work on like social media yet, to where, it's just incredible. So how can I, as kind of an intermediate artist right now, put stuff on social media that people will want to follow or get behind?
I think that it's really important to let people be a part of your journey. I'm going to write in the chat, you guys. One of my really dear friends is behind the brand With One Line, if you're familiar with it. If not, 10 out of 10, look it up on Instagram right now. Especially you, I think it would really resonate with you. But he shares his journey, and he even creates videos of him drawing and really, really makes it so that people are part of his evolution of his brand and his experience and the art that he's creating. He's a really, thanks, Josh. He's a really great guy, but we're always looking for practice to make progress, not perfection. I don't think anyone's expecting anyone to show up as the best version, and what you might be really, really hard on yourself for. A lot of people are really impressed by your talent, and any of you guys that are creatives, to share whatever you're creating is so brave and so vulnerable. And more than ever, people are looking for that connection, and creativity and art is the most incredible thing to help people imagine something else, be somewhere else, dream something else. So my vote is share it and continue to grow and continue to evolve, but let people be a part of that journey and let people see where you grow along that time. And how cool to think that that social media account is almost going to serve as a historical piece for you, where you can see that evolution, you can see that timeline. And I'm sure one day you'll look back and be like, gosh, I can't believe that was what I thought was cool, in 5 years when you've really elevated your brand. But it still is amazing, and it's always the right time to start. I think that you guys should ask yourself, why not me? It's really important.
Cool.
Sorry, just
go ahead,
real
Nick, I'm
quick.
sorry.
I just wanted to know, do you have any of the social media statistics for like other countries, maybe Japan or Canada? Just curiosity.
I don't. It's really easy to find though. Google is such a great tool, right? But I don't.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we really are strictly domestic.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Stephen, you want to ask a question, but Stephen, if you're going to ask how to create a YouTube channel, we can show you that. We don't, obviously we can show you that here when Sam's not here, but if you have a strategy question or something like that, if you want to unmute and ask the question, that'd be great. Steven?
Hey, really quick, if he's not jumping on, I have a question.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'm Hennessy Phillips. But I was just wondering, as far as like, because I know especially now today and age, it's really kind of people look for your feed on Instagram, like if it all flows nicely. So do you have any tips for that and like filters that you love or apps that you love?
Did you hear that? Okay.
Yeah, I did. I'm so glad you asked that. You guys, if you're so bored, scroll all the way back on MA's Instagram to about 3 years ago and you'll puke when you see the photos that I inherited. It is definitely a lot of backs of heads, iPhone photos. Best thing I ever did was hire our photographer, Alex, who is the most brilliant photographer I've ever met in my life. He captures human emotion in a way that nobody else could. And what he did is he consistently photographs all of our events, all of our headshots, all of our lifestyle photography. So there's a really, really cohesive brand story, and it's really humanized. So we took our headshots from super corporate, where everyone's wearing like 3-piece suits, and it's a really flat image with a lot of flash. And Alex came in, and we told people, show up how you are. It doesn't matter if your hair is a little messy or, if you're wearing just a casual outfit. He used natural light, a lot of depth, a lot of interest. There's people's freckles. You can see it. Everything's not photoshopped. We created a really human brand. And so by having his, photography almost exclusively, we created a really consistent look. We also, of course, use our brand colors and guidelines. So orange, the MA orange is one of our colors, and we try to pop that up as frequently as possible. Architecture can be really cool, or it can be a little hard to sell when it's just like a rendering. So we have to find really creative ways to make that fun and make that engaging. People, of course, get excited though, because it's projects like we did the point at Polaris, if you guys are familiar with that, where Kitchen Social, Condado is one of our clients. So that's at least fun stories to tell that people are engaged in, but definitely creating some kind of consistency. As far as filters, he does all of the photography for us, which is great. I love Fuji right now, and I love photography that looks like film. So that's a thing that I'm really into right now. We're exploring in a couple different ways, but definitely creating consistency and imagery, I think, is so important.
Cool. Hey, Sam, I want to ask you a question as the director of communications. How you handle crisis in social media? For example, I know this past summer, I don't know if you consider this a crisis or not, but you mentioned Condado. I know there was a period of time this summer when all of the the unrest was going on and Condados was kind of in the news. How do you work in that environment when there's a crisis, or all of a sudden you hear in the news Condado Taco and you hear like kind of maybe a negative blip? How do you deal with those things? What's your strategy in those moments?
Yeah, so part of my job responsibility as the director of communication includes public relations. So I manage all communications as it pertains to the firm internally and externally. So between public relations and social media, the two combine really beautifully. 2020 was a very challenging year, definitely. Took a lot of Starbucks and a lot of yoga to get through. One example, of course, was the Black Lives Matter and George Floyd with all of that going on. Our clients are so different. We have super, super conservative clients, super, super liberal clients, all over the gamut. And so it's really, really hard to say the right thing. And so we obviously really believe in supporting a lot of these causes, and we have to do it in a way that's really organic. And so what we did is we went, actually, when the Short North was boarded up, if you guys remember all of that, in June, we are partners with Dress for Success, and we went down and we hired, which had I known any of you guys, we would have hired you. We hired an artist to do a mural on the boarded up windows of Dress for Success with hands, just promoting equality and promoting and sharing our support. It said Stronger Together. And so it was multiracial hands all together saying Stronger Together. And we actually helped her, very loosely helped her paint the mural. She basically was like, just put a little bit of blue there. She was very talented. You artists on here, I'm sure, would die if I actually physically got into your artwork. So she was great, but that was a way that we handled that. That was really authentic and natural to our brand. Again, it goes back to that purpose. What are your values? Who are your corporate partners? What do you believe in? And just really being unapologetic about who you are.
Did you see the latest text there, or the latest chat? You got you're closing business and you didn't even ask for it. Like, yeah, it's like Nishan Swan's mom, Darcy, owns a business, a wellness center. She said she's already contacted you to help her grow her business. So.
Oh my gosh, you guys are so kind. I'm also here, honestly, if you guys need anything, please email me. I would love to connect you. I would love to answer any other questions you have that we don't get to today. If there's somebody on my LinkedIn that you've been dying to meet, I'd be happy to connect you with them. I know you guys, I don't know if high school does LinkedIn, but
We
when
do.
you get told it's a thing, yeah, it's a networking thing, but I'm definitely here to help any of you guys out that I can. There are some things I can answer, some things I can't. I'm not an artist per se myself, especially in the capacity that a lot of you guys are so talented to be. So I don't know that I can help you with that, but I could help you with your brand, with marketing, with social strategy, digital brand strategy, all that kind of stuff. And if there are any videographers and photographers out here listening, I would love to chat with you guys about having you in for a little internship, even paid internship, to help you. Caroline, yes, you can expect me to reach back out. I drink a lot of Starbucks.
Well, hey, it's 10 o'clock, and I want to, you mentioned earlier, time is our most valuable resource. I want to guard your time, Sam, because, we could talk to you all day. I'm sure we could just have an all-day seminar here. Maybe you should start doing that. I don't know, maybe you do it already, but we loved having you today. This was so awesome. And I think our students that want to be involved in the internships thing will reach out to you. Is there a way, the best way for us to get that email address again? You want to like pop that up on the screen or something like that, or put it in maybe in the chat one more time?
Yep, I just put that back in the chat.
Awesome.
And then Josh, if anybody wants that slide deck, are you able to send that out to the audience?
Absolutely. I will send it. Yep. It's posted. Just so everybody knows, the slide deck is posted on the brochure, not the brochure, but the link that we sent out that has all the sessions today. There's a link to Sam's slides today, and it's towards the end of her slide deck that has the what you have to do to get the $250 gift card today. And then if you didn't hear this, Sam did say that they are looking to possibly bring in some interns, some savvy interns for photography and possibly social media and other things. So please reach out, especially if you're a digital design student. That's an amazing opportunity, guys. Trust me. You will not. I mean, you couldn't take a class better than the education you'll get working with Sam on this. So I want to say thank you, Sam, from everybody here. I don't know if you have any closing words, but we are very thankful for your time today, and we would just love to have you back anytime you have time for us. So
you guys are so kind. I would love to be a part of anything that I can. I'm always here for you guys as a mentor and anything. If you're interested in the internship, tell me that in your email. If you have any examples of photography or videography you've done in the past, I'd love to see it. So we have an idea. I run MA Productions as part of my job, and so we do a lot of videography and photography for different clients all throughout the city. So if you're interested, I would love to see some of your work. If you have examples, if you have specific talents as it relates to video, audio, photography, anything like that, please just share that with me. Graphic design, we're always looking for graphic designers. The more examples you have of your work, the better. I would love to see it. And if there's anything in particular you have a question about or anything you would like my feedback on or advice about, I would love to share it with you. Otherwise, you guys are amazing. And just remember, why not you? So don't be the thing that stops you. You can do anything.
Sam, thank you again so much. Tell Dr. Dickerson we said hello.
I will. Thank you all so much. If you guys need anything, let me know.
Have a great day.
Bye, guys.